everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys can remember from my previous video, I mentioned that there's quite a few topics that you have to find time to discuss with your fiance before you get married. And on that video, I only focused on love languages and love and respect. This time, this video is going to be a continuation of that. And our topic for today is something that I know we from a Filipino-American relationship can all relate to. If you're an American and you're considering dating a Filipina, this is something that you have to prepare yourself for. Or if you are already in a Filipino-American relationship, whether you've seen each other in person or have been talking online for months now, this is pretty much something that you have already experienced. You want to know what I'm talking about? It's the thing called Tampo. On this video, I will not just talk about the definition of Tampo from the internet, but I will also include what Tampo is from my husband's perspective. What are the manifestations, and the most important thing is that we will try to share to you what strategies we use to deal with Tampo. Now, what is Tampo? Tampo, according to Wikipedia, in Filipino culture, it refers to the behavior in which a person withdraws his or her cheerfulness and affection from a person who has hurt his or her feelings. There is no exact or direct translation of Tampo in English, but it is closest to the word sulk or sulking, or another term for silent treatment. From my husband's opinion, the vast majority of Tampo responses from Filipinas is the result of taking personal offense to words, action, or especially the inaction of someone that they care about. And these actions that we do is designed to be a form of rebellion, manipulation, and on exertion of control over their partner. Even though that is not our real purpose of our Tampo, the message that we are communicating to them is different. You know, Filipinos are not really used to confronting someone who has hurt their feelings, and instead, we just want to give them a silent treatment. While Filipino men may be more accustomed to the mannerisms of Tampo and perhaps even find it to be cute, other cultures largely find this behavior as childish. In the Western culture, such behavior is unacceptable and can lead to many different negative results. What are the manifestations of a person in Tampo? Number 1, scorning physical touch. Number 2, ignoring someone.
Hey dear, what you watching? Yep. Anything planned for dinner? Okay.
Number 3, refusing to participate or eat.
Everything okay, dear?
It's okay.
You sure?
Yeah. Number 4, refusing to communicate. Perhaps the person in Tampo refuses to talk to anyone, but the American can perceive this as hostile passive aggressiveness, which can lead them to cutting ties and initiating further drama for them to be able to give support in the situation on their side, even though the original issue was very minor. And in the Western culture, if you do not alliterate what is bothering you, they do not have the obligation to investigate, console, or give in to the tampo in any way. Since tampo is absolutely a form of manipulation for them and can cause counter harm to the mentality of the person it is directed at, the more often tampo occurs in a relationship, the more they feel that they are not loved. And what happens if they feel that they are not loved? The more that we're putting the relationship at risk. You know, the feeling of love is nearly impossible to recover once it's gone. And sadly, in the United States or even in other Western countries, it is very, very common for them to file a divorce once they feel that they are not happy in a relationship anymore. When a Filipina retracts her affection and communication, the couple is instantly split into two different entities, meaning both of them will not take the blame. So I could feel that I didn't do anything wrong and he could feel the same way. During the time that problem is not quickly resolved, we tend to just lock the pain away and pretend to be happy. And when tampo happens again and again, the pain just adds up and eventually love fades away. The bottom line is when love fades away in a relationship, it will more likely lead to divorce or probably domestic violence and cheating. However, any Westerner who enters a courting relationship or marriage with a Filipina should do their due diligence in order to understand the culture of the person they are joining with. Sadly, there are other major issues that can cause a lot of tension between the two cultures, and tampo is not the largest issue, but it can be very destructive. And telling a Filipina not to have tampo is very impossible. You know why? Because tampo is part of our Filipino culture that is very difficult to change. Thus, it is very difficult to remove from our personality. Even though a Filipina doesn't want to talk when she is upset, talking is very important. But you have to make sure that it is productive. Now, no one is exempted in this kind of thing. And even us are experiencing some troubles on how we can actually cut or at least limit the tampo situation. And there are several strategies that we can use to deal with the tampo. Number 1, open lines of communication. Do not run off, lock yourself away, or turn your cell phone off, or in any way cut off access to your partner. Number 2, identify the problem. Even if it's difficult, you have to find ways to express to your partner the circumstances that led to the tampo. Number 3, acceptance. The Americans should accept the short, amicable expression of pain felt by their partner. This allows them to process the origin of the problem rather than attempting to read the Filipina's mind. Number 4, patience. Both parties should withhold immediate discussion pertaining to the problem, and in most cases, not even discuss the problem. Give both parties a short, peaceful time to process their own information. Number 5, think of the solution, not the problem. The circumstances are now in the past. It is pointless to dwell on them or continue to bring it up. The only thing to do is to find a solution to the problem that would prevent it from recurring. Sometimes the situation is an ongoing issue, and in that case, you can find some strategies to decrease or eliminate the stress that arises from it. Number 6, PARLEY. Both parties should sit down and discuss their ideas on how to prevent this issue on the future and come to a compromise. Number 7, forgiveness. Both parties should end their conversation with words of affirmation, love, and forgiveness. These steps work for virtually any interpersonal complications that arise in life, and Tampo is no exception. Ultimately, it requires effort and participations from both parties in order to work effectively though. So please do not let your internal perception to cloud your judgment and initiate a never-ending crazy cycle of painful regret. Show compassion, comprehension, and understanding, and that applies to both sides. Guys, have you ever had an issue with Tampo in the past or seen negative effect as causality of Tampo? Ladies, have you ever tried to Tampo and been surprised on how your partner reacted to it? If any of you use our advice, can you let us know how it worked out for you in the comments below? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye!